Yep. Today we're at the Benalla Aviation Museum, and this is a good example, or a great example, of a smaller museum that's kicking off and getting going in the town of Benalla, which is about halfway between Melbourne and Canberra. We've got our corporal and probably a airman. Our Mackie trainer sitting out here getting ready to have some work done. You see it says the RAAF aerobatic team. And over in the background there we have a Nomad which is starting to be restored. Yeah, there's some of the history of Benalla back in the days when it was number 11 Elementary Flying School. Tiger moths, Oxfords, probably Ansons. Yeah.
Yeah, son of Mr. Westfield wants to be a rock star now. He's lost interest.
Here we are. This is in the display area of the museum, and I like that because long ago I used to be a member of the Air Training Corps, which was set up by the Air Force during the war for youngsters to get involved in aviation before they went into the forces. And now we have what's called Australian Air Force Cadets, which is a major source of recruitment for the Air Force. We have a great selection of models and memorabilia, uniforms. And here we are, a great selection of models up here and aircraft. And a great example of a smaller museum, and the great thing about this museum, most of its aircraft are flying aircraft rather than static, although obviously some down the track will be static. Now we are the ubiquitous Windshield. It's in good nick. This one really a good looking aircraft. Look at that. Well polished, well done. I'm afraid I don't know what this is. It's a little bit out of my league, these some of these experimental aircraft ones. Here, a Wasp Junior engine. And probably about the size and style of the only aircraft I could afford. Obviously a bit of fun for the kids to in a mock-up of a MiG. Here we are, have a Vampire again. Now here's an incredibly unique aeroplane, the Fawcett 120. Yes, it looks like a Cessna 150. No, this was designed and built in Australia. Very rare aircraft before Cessnas really started to come in. Fawcett Aviation was based at Bankstown Airport in Sydney, and Illawarra Flying School, as I said before. And this is a Fawcett 120, the only one in the world, and it was designed to be the Australian trainer. Then the government took off some of the bounties and things and killed the aircraft overnight. So here's a truly unique aeroplane. Illawarra Aviation was around when I was a kid at Bankstown Airport in Sydney. Here we have a Moth Miner. I should pronounce that probably a little bit better than that, a Moth Minor. And here we are, the Windshield again, very nicely presented. Very nicely presented. Now, straight out, open straight up. This hangar is what's called a Bellman hangar. They are a remnant of hangars that were built during the war. There's not a lot of them around anymore. If you can get hold of one of these, you've got a major artefact from that period. Up the top there is a Jindavik again. You can see over there the orange aircraft. And here we have Benalla's Tiger Moth. And again, an excellently restored example that's flying. Obviously stored up at the moment. Probably a little bit of work going on that. And in the back we have something not quite so Australian, Namching. Yeah, Wasp radial engine there. Here we have a Rolls-Royce Dart, an Avon, and this gentleman wandering around is Ron Lee, one of the... he goes by the name of Grumpy Ron, who's one of the leading lights of the Australian warbird movement. And I thank him, he's heavily involved with this museum. And we have a cage of a hot air balloon, a Link trainer. And this is the workshop area. Obviously, like a lot of these smaller museums, there are volunteers getting equipment for whenever they can. The engine rebuild shop through there I won't go because I'm not approved staff. There's a sand blaster or bee blaster in there. Lathes. There's an engine laying out there ready to work on. Doing well. Long way to go and they thoroughly enjoying it. But they're down here working hard at it. Many years ago, when I was belonged to the Warplane Museum at Caboolture, a Moth Miner was in the hangar and in danger of being scrapped, and 10 of us decided to buy it with high hopes. Unfortunately, those hopes never came to fruition, so it was disposed of, and I often wondered where it went. Well, this is where it came. And she's now been restored to full flying condition. And I thought I'd never find out or never see it again. So it's great to see that this old aircraft has been lovingly restored, and it's in not just in great condition, but it's in great flying condition. Very racy looking machine. I hope you enjoyed your visit to the Benalla Aviation Museum. It's great to see a smaller museum in a rural town doing so well, led by a really enthusiastic and competent committee, a lot of eager volunteers displaying items and aircraft all around the region so they get interest. And I thank them all for the kindness and the generosity and enthusiasm they showed me and allowed me to participate in. Until next time, I shall see you again.